In the sun-scorched deserts of China, where survival seems impossible, the landscape stretches endlessly, a sea of golden dunes shimmering beneath a relentless sun. For centuries, these arid expanses have been symbols of nature's harshest challenges, places where only the hardiest creatures, like camels and desert foxes, could hope to endure. Yet, in this unforgiving environment, an extraordinary experiment took shape. Not with camels or foxes, but with fish. The idea seemed almost fantastical. Could aquatic life truly survive, or even thrive, in a place defined by its lack of water? Millions of fish were introduced into the heart of the arid wilderness, a bold attempt to challenge the very nature of the desert. Artificial ponds, carefully engineered and maintained, became unlikely sanctuaries for these new desert dwellers. The idea was simple, yet radical: bring water-dependent creatures to a place defined by its lack of water. It was a vision that defied conventional wisdom, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible in environmental science. Convoys of trucks rumbled across the dunes, carrying tanks filled with shimmering fish deep into the heart of the desert. The world watched with a mix of skepticism and wonder, questioning whether this audacious plan could ever succeed. Was this a fool's errand or a stroke of genius? The answers, as with so many great experiments, lay hidden beneath the sand, waiting to be revealed by time and perseverance. This project was more than an experiment. It was a leap of faith against desertification, a process threatening vast areas and communities worldwide. The stakes were high, as entire ecosystems and human livelihoods hung in the balance. Sometimes only audacious ideas can spark real change. It takes visionaries willing to risk failure to rewrite the story of a landscape. Our journey begins not in lush rainforests, but in the stark beauty of the desert, where life found a way in the most desolate of places. Here, hope and ingenuity collided to create something truly remarkable. This is the story of how a single brilliant idea transformed emptiness into possibility, and how the dream of fish in the sands became a symbol of hope for deserts everywhere. To truly understand China's ambitious quest, we must first recognize the scale of the threat it faces. The Gobi and Taklamakan deserts are not just vast stretches of sand. They are living, shifting forces, ever expanding and swallowing up precious farmland inch by inch. This relentless advance endangers the livelihoods of millions, threatening food security and entire communities. For decades, traditional solutions like planting trees have been deployed to hold back the sands. While these efforts have made a difference, they are slow, expensive, and require enormous amounts of water, resources that are already scarce in these arid regions. The scale of the problem demanded something more innovative, so scientists began to ask a bold question. What if we could engineer a self-sustaining ecosystem in the desert? Not just isolated patches of green, but a thriving web of life that could endure and expand on its own. The answer began with fish. By creating a network of interconnected lakes, fish could be introduced as the first inhabitants. Their waste would naturally enrich the water with nutrients, turning barren ponds into fertile sources for irrigation and supporting new plant growth. As new vegetation took root, these plants would help stabilize the shifting sand dunes, anchoring the soil and preventing further desertification. Over time, the plants would also improve the microclimate, releasing moisture into the air and making the environment more hospitable for life. This remarkable chain reaction, fish enriching water, water nurturing plants, plants transforming the land, could do more than just halt the desert's advance. It could actually reverse it, turning wasteland into a new kind of oasis. The vision was bold: vibrant oases that would support aquaculture, agriculture, and even tourism. These new green spaces could provide food, jobs, and hope for local communities, breathing new life into once barren lands. It was a holistic plan, transforming an environmental crisis into a powerful economic and social opportunity, uniting science, community, and nature. The fish were pioneers in this grand experiment, setting the stage for a greener, more sustainable future in the heart of the desert. This was about more than just stopping the desert's spread. It was about reinventing the very idea of what a desert could be, and inspiring hope for generations to come. The first and most daunting challenge was water. In a place where rain is rare and rivers are absent, how could life possibly take hold? Deep beneath the endless sands, ancient aquifers held the promise of life. Powerful pumps and drilling rigs tapped into these hidden reserves, drawing up water to fill vast, man-made lakes that would become the heart of a new ecosystem. These lakes weren't just bodies of water, they were carefully engineered for survival. Designed to be deep enough to stay cool even under the harsh sun, they were shaded by floating solar panels, which not only generated energy, but also protected the water below. Technology and nature worked hand in hand. The solar panels reduced evaporation, stabilized water temperature, and provided a sustainable energy source for the pumps, creating a delicate balance that made life possible. But water alone wasn't enough. The choice of fish was crucial to the success of this bold experiment. Hardy carp, known for their resilience and ability to thrive in challenging environments, were selected. These fish could withstand fluctuating temperatures and lower oxygen levels, making them ideal pioneers for this new world. As bottom feeders, carp played a vital role. By stirring up the lake bed, they released nutrients trapped in the sediment, creating fertile conditions for future plant life to take root along the shores. Advanced technology kept a constant watch. Automated sensors monitored water quality, oxygen, and temperature, while aerators ensured the water stayed healthy and full of life. Every detail was meticulously managed. From the control room, technicians adjusted systems in real time, ensuring nothing was left to chance and every variable was accounted for. The fish weren't just surviving, they were transforming their environment. Acting as ecological engineers, they prepared the lakes for the next stage of life, paving the way for a flourishing ecosystem. This was a delicate balance of planning, technology, and a deep understanding of nature's needs. Scientists and engineers worked side by side, learning from each success and setback. The result was nothing short of remarkable, a thriving aquatic ecosystem blossoming in the heart of the desert, where once there was only sand and silence. The survival of these fish stands as a testament to human ingenuity, determination, and our ability to work with nature rather than against it. The desert was no longer just an expanse of sand, it was being transformed into a living, breathing system full of hope and new beginnings. This project's success depended on the people living at the desert's edge. Local communities became guardians of the new lakes, trained in aquaculture and maintenance. For many, it was more than a job. It was reclaiming their future from the desert. Men and women who once herded livestock now tended fisheries, while children learned about aquatic life. The project brought hope, transforming conflict with the land into cooperation. Daily teams checked feeding systems, maintained solar panels, and planted reeds and grasses to stabilize the shores. These plants formed living barriers, binding the sand and holding back the dunes. Community involvement was the secret to long-term success, fostering a deep connection to the new landscape. Technology could create the oasis, but only people could make it last. The desert was no longer a threat, it was becoming a garden, built by their own hands. Before the fish, this was a world of emptiness. The Taklamakan, a realm of shifting dunes and profound silence. Life was sparse, hardy shrubs, nocturnal rodents, and lizards clinging to survival. The air was bone dry, the sky a pale dome, rain a rare event that vanished almost instantly. The rhythm of life was dictated by the sun and the constant threat of dehydration. This was a landscape of browns and yellows, a place where water was a mirage. No birdsong, no hum of insects, no green along the banks, just silence and heat. The idea of a lake teeming with fish seemed impossible, yet from this emptiness, the miracle of desert fish began. The stage was set for transformation. Just 1 year, the desert began to change. The lakes released moisture, creating a bubble of humidity and even morning mists. Unthinkable before. Reeds and grasses, nourished by fish-enriched water, took root, stabilizing the sand and halting the dunes. The shoreline turned green, forming a living wall against the desert's advance. The carp thrived, their numbers booming, providing a sustainable food source. The first fish harvests were celebrated, improving diets and creating new income for locals. The project became an economic success, not just an environmental one. Most striking was the sound. The silence was broken by water lapping, reeds rustling, and fish splashing. The desert was now alive with new voices, life had returned, and its presence was unmistakable. The transformation was visible, audible, and deeply felt. The experiment was working, the desert was no longer silent. Water and fish triggered a cascade of life. Insects arrived first, dragonflies, mosquitoes, and more, followed by birds drawn to the new oasis. Ducks, herons, and songbirds found food and shelter, their calls echoing across the lakes. The project became a vital stopover for migratory birds, enriching the ecosystem. Bird droppings fertilized the soil, encouraging more plant growth and creating a positive feedback loop. Even small mammals ventured closer, drawn by water and prey. Plant diversity increased as seeds took root in the damp soil, adding color to the landscape. The desert was not just held back, it was being enriched. A new, complex web of life was forming, with fish at its heart. The desert fish experiment is a lesson in holistic ecological thinking. The goal wasn't just to add water, but to spark an entire ecosystem. Fish cycled nutrients, plants stabilized soil, and every element played a role in a larger web. This approach is a model for restoration projects worldwide. Integrating human needs ensured local communities had a stake in success. Sustainable development must benefit both people and planet. Innovative technology, solar panels, species selection, monitoring worked in harmony with nature. The project proved that technology and ecology can thrive together. Most importantly, it showed that desertification can be reversed with bold ideas and community action. The experiment is a blueprint for hope in arid regions everywhere. As we face climate change and water scarcity, China's desert fish offer hope. It's proof that humanity can work with nature to create abundance from scarcity. The potential to replicate this success in deserts worldwide is real, if done wisely and sustainably. Each ecosystem is unique, but the principle of building self-sustaining oases holds universal promise. This is about more than fighting deserts. It's about cultivating renewal and growth. The story is a testament to the power of a single idea, scientific knowledge, and community commitment. Even in a world of challenges, there is always room for ingenuity and hope. The shimmering lakes in China's desert are a sign that, with vision and effort, the desert can bloom.